What is going on? I'm Zedmont. We are going to be back with some Warships goodness. But first, some of you might remember, hopefully you tuned in, I am giving this beautiful prize right here. That is the baby dragon from Clash Royale. It's a figurine. It looks amazing. It's worth about $100, shipped straight to your door. I will be giving that away later on in this video. Do stick around to see if you won or not. Moving right along, I have two very, very different warships going. I'm going to show you both my tech trees one after another. This one is more fun at the moment. I have been a little bit silly on this one, not using grenadiers at all. Finally went back and got smoke. Don't have mortars, don't have machine guns. I did go and get me some shock launchers though. Don't really know if that was the right call, but just trying to do two different things. Was doing a bunch of rocket chopper hits there. Not doing super duper well. My brain is a little bit scattered this season, not getting a ton of time for hits, not getting a ton of time for planning, so I've kind of just gone a little bit willy-nilly. Level 4 barrage, level 4 artillery, spending keys and tokens willy of the nilly. More importantly, we've got Seekers. We've also got Troop Health. Troop Health, super, super important when it comes to Seekers, unless you want to fizzle like a mofo. Gonna show you some quick hits here. Have been doing fairly alright as I get my feet underneath me. Like you can see there in the list, people have been fizzling on my base, which is kind of nice. As you can also see by the embarrassing things down here, I have been down into iron, back up into gold. Like I said, not doing super duper well. Let's see what the win rate is for me at the moment. 46.5%. Gotta say, my rocket chopper skills pushing into 6 engine rooms. Before I got to 6, it was a little bit bad. Anyways, we are going to get some hits going here. We'll do maybe 2 hits on each account, talk about the benefits of each tech tree. This one, very, very much offensive, just trying to stay ahead of the curve with the more engine rooms than many people. I will be jumping up to next engine rooms as soon as I can. Haven't decided if I'm going to go get bullet or if I'm going to go jump into more engine rooms or bombardiers or heavy choppers. Heavy choppers definitely help Seekers out big time, but lots of choices to make, and I don't have any keys at the moment. So let's get some hits going, and then we'll talk about it as we get rocking. Okay, see how long it takes us to find a hit. It's been taking a little while at times this season. Not sure if there's fewer players or what is going on. Now, Seekers, see, this is the problem. When they go from this engine room, I think they're going to go for this one, but they might go for that one. So I tend to try to avoid those kind of details. Now, the other thing I can do is do a mix, as you can see right there. I've been mixing in one boat of rocket choppers because they can tend to do a little bit of good stuff, but on this instance, I don't think that's going to be worthwhile. Going to spend a little bit of time, clear some mines here, and then just get the troops going into position. We will gap our smokes a little bit, and then skipping that last smoke. I found that skipping that last smoke does wonderful, wonderful things. Just makes your hits go a little bit more smoothly. Then you can pre-smoke your next smoke, and then we should be able to just get that shock out there, that shock in there. Tons and tons of GBE available. It's kind of amazing just how much gunboat energy we have for all of these hits. That shock mine on that left-hand side going to be doing me a little bit of bad service, but I think we can get most of our troops underneath there. Also going to hit that shock mine. This attack not going super duper smoothly, making a few mistakes, but we've got more engine rooms down than them. Let's look at that. Opponent has retreated, picked up the victory. So our base doing better than their base. Better than, I just said our base, and theirs is named ours. So our base doing better than ours? Awkward. Moving forwards with the Seekers, I am not going to consider that an attack because that was a bit of a mess. I do love Seekers, though. Coming from using tanks or grenadiers, which are incredibly slow and somewhat painful, to being able to use Seekers, is just so, so, so nice. I can't say so enough times because I really, really do love the fact that we've got Seekers coming in this season. And I know Seekers are not everyone's favorite. I know they're not awesome for the instant training people who do not have instant training. Hopefully you took advantage of that free bundle of instant training that we all had for a little while there. I'm not entirely sure what I want to shock here. Let's go like this and like this. Doom Cannon's just not being super friendly to us. I think our troops are all going to go over to that left, which is going to work out fairly well for us, but they're going to go back to that right eventually, right about now. I think going to pre-smoke, hoping to sneak them along that back wall. Skipping the last smoke, I feel like is just so, so valuable. If you're using Seekers, do consider using that strategy because it just gets your troops right where you're going to want them to be. And now I'm probably not going to get this final engine room, but just maybe, nope. So fizzles, fizzles, fizzles. Not super duper excited about all the fizzles, but picking up engine rooms. Burning through troops like a crazy person. This person has grenadiers. They are going to come in here hoping that that boom cannon can pick a couple off. That boom cannon also, they have gotten rid of all of my defenses. Not that I have many defenses to start with, but just hoping that I'm going to end up beating them. I've got my boom cannons still alive. Those boom cannons are just, that was a terrible flare, my friend. You're never going to beat a boom cannon with 3. That was a bad idea, my friend. And there's no blind spot on boom cannons. Maybe they're just trying to save from spending time retreating. I do that occasionally where I flare my troops to their own death. Saves on retreating. 2 wins in a row with Seekers. Boom cannons and shock launchers definitely, and also mine placement. Big shout out to Orion. I copied his base. He has a hot pot. I've got 2 shock launchers. Little bit different, but bases at the 6 engine room level still naked-ish. That's definitely going to change in the next little bit as more and more people move to this. But look at this. We've got a perfect line. They're going to go boom, boom, boom. This is an absolute dream for a Seeker hitter. Anytime you can have the base where you know exactly where your Seekers are going to go, it's going to be just absolutely, absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to go something like this. Don't need to throw a smoke until we get to about there and there. Now, 1 shock, and that Doom Cannon is not going to be a factor. We're going to get in here. I'm going to throw my next pre-smoke, get those troops flying through. Don't even need to pre-shock. Let's throw shocks there and there. Should be able to get at least 5 engine rooms. Would be very, very surprised if we don't get all of them, though, because this base just absolutely set up for us. This is sitting on a T. Absolutely perfect. Look at this. Just nice, clean lines. That is exactly what you want as a Seeker hitter. Anytime you can get clean lines like this, you are going to be absolutely crushing your opponent. So this base needs some work. If I am attacking your base right now, you're going to want to fix this as soon as possible. Those previous 2 bases, you had to think about, and it wasn't very clear. Also, our troops went up and then had to come back, so that was awesome. This base, 1981, dude, you need to put some thought into that base because that was way, way, way too easy for me. And I am still warming up as a Seeker player, so if I can crush your base that easier, the beast players like I always forget how to say his name. A 2x4, I believe it is somewhere in his name. Love watching his Seeker hits. Good dude. Has been very, very positive on Telegram and on YouTube, so big shout out to him. Please throw a link to his channel. Great, great Seeker player. I know a lot of people like to watch his hits, so if these Seeker hits get you or whet your appetite for more, maybe do consider going and watching his hits because, like I said, good dude, good hits, great hits for that matter. I haven't watched any in probably 3 or 4 seasons, but if he's still posting, which I assume he is, I'm also assuming his gender. But anyways, Seeker hits doing very, very well. So that tech tree, if you have instant training, is incredibly fun. I love the fast-paced action as opposed to most of this season has been slow-paced on other tech trees. So I'm going to pause. I'll be back in just a second. We'll do that draw for that prize. By the way, little spoiler, I've already done the draw. And this might take an extra second because Supercell, in their infinite wisdom, decided to move the Supercell ID button yet again. Okay, there we are. We are back in action. What I'm going to do right now is bring this prize screen back up, and then we're going to pull the curtain back and show you the winner. So with a drum roll, please, I don't have a drum roll, so I'm just going to have to give you one of these. That trombone is not for the winner, but for all of the people who I couldn't give prizes to. Would love to give prizes to every single one of you, but of course that is not an option, unfortunately. The winner, without further delay, is Mr. Michael Gunderson. Huge, long-time supporter. You might notice his name in my Patreon details. I love it when the random pick generator picks someone that I recognize. All of you new subscribers as well, please do keep throwing out comments there. Not to say I wouldn't have been happy if you wouldn't have won, but I love it when I recognize a name. So keep throwing your comments out there. Keep posting details, critiques, suggestions, all that good stuff. Anyways, Michael Gunderson, hit me up on Telegram, on Discord, on YouTube, and I will get you your details. Moving forward into my tech tree here, gonna do a quick walkthrough as I fall backwards. I was up in 19, was almost at 20, and then my tech tree fell apart. I did not get my chests, did not stay current, did not design a base, so little bit of frustration on my part. And as you can see here, I'm within 3 hours of hitting 4 out of 4 chests. So anytime you see someone streaming and they've got 3 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 on 2 different accounts, it means life is busy and just not having the time. Anyways, this tech tree have most things. I was a dirty 4-engine room base there for a while. Have the mortars. I have extra boom cannons. I have all the boom cannons except for this one. I've got rocket launchers at tick 4, barrage at tick 3, artillery at tick 3. Don't have that extra GBE, which I probably should grab, but at this point I'm looking to move up into 6-engine rooms on this account as well. Don't have the shock launcher or the rocket chopper, but I think if I can move into 6 engine rooms, all of these ridiculous defenses should do fairly well against Seekers. And if you're wondering if I have shock mines, yes, they are in there, hidden away. We are going to get a hit going. I'm going to cobble together a bunch of hits in a row, and then we will call it a day. Okay, let's jump into this now. I have not been attacking much on this account, simply because once you get Seekers, for me, it just is so much more fun. And using Grenadiers, I enjoy Grenadiers, but my goodness, are they ever slow at times. So one of the tips I have to give you with Grens is to drop some of the heavies late. Dropping heavies late should be common knowledge, but I figured I'd throw that one out there just in case. Gonna get all of my heavy dudes going here. Now, the fact that I'm using a flare here means that our heavies aren't going to be ideal as far as where the heck they end up, but should be able to cover this entire front with heavies, which should help distract all of those rocket launchers and that grappler. Now you'll notice I threw an extra flare in there just because that should get most of my heavies where I want them, and then the remainder will have to cruise their way up this left-hand side, which is not a bad thing either. So Grenadiers, definitely not as satisfying as using critters. I mean, not critters, I also can't say the name Seekers. I just find that using Grens and or tanks, these attacks take so much longer. So if you're having problems staying focused and you're just seeing that these attacks take a day and a half, do consider making the jump up to 6 engine rooms. Even if you're losing, I found that I end up playing more simply because I enjoy playing Seekers more than Grenadiers and or tanks. And even just waiting for your opponents. Opponents take so darn long when it comes to those 4-5 engine room battles. Whereas once you move up to 6, suddenly everything gets to be a little bit quicker. And for me, these kind of games, I play them because they're quick and they're fast. Yes, those are the exact same thing, but I just find that I get more satisfaction out of the speed of it. And that's why games like Brawl Stars and stuff like that do so well, is that the games are snap, snap, bang, 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 one after another. So I might be alone in that, where I like the speed of it, but do let me know which kind of troops you like. If you're enjoying the slow, methodical wins, or if you're having a good time using troops like Seekers or Heavy Choppas or Rocket Choppas, because not everyone plays these games the same. That is for darn sure. Should be able to do fairly well with our critters here. I'm going to just blast a whole bunch of critters as soon as that engine room goes down, hoping that our grenadiers miss a few times, because that'll help us get rid of that mortar right in behind. Should also be able to go something like that. Getting all of our critters out front should help keep our troops alive. And now it's just waiting. We can't flare that engine room because our troops will all die a horrible, terrible death. So we've already lost this battle. Just farming. I found that this season, in past seasons, I've been able to hoard some keys and just keep my level where it's at without spending keys. This season, hoarding keys is a terrible, terrible way to go. And I'm finding that anytime that I have more than, say, 20 or 30 keys, I am losing, and bad things are happening. So there is the lesson of the day, I suppose. This season, or any season for that matter, which is defensive oriented, you need to spend those keys early and often, and I am paying the price right now. We are going to lose this battle terribly. I am going to get all of the engine rooms, but at what cost besides my sanity and my time? So this sort of battle, not the kind of battles that I signed up for. Trying not to sound whiny or grumpy about it, but just these battles suck the life out of me. Moving in the wrong direction in a big way, just dreaming of the days. I guess that next chest is going to get us there, thankfully, but even then probably won't do super well because I won't have troop health, but we're just going to have to wait and find out. So, should I be using tanks? Probably. Tanks are likely the answer to most of my... You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just drop some tanks in. Need to keep Everspark alive, but just going to get rocking and rolling on the tanks. Now, do I want to go right to left or left to right? I probably should be able to simply artillery and barrage that one if we can get enough gunboat energy. Like I said, just not really feeling it. That's why I wanted to put all of the Seeker hits first in this video, because I just figured, you know what, that is where my loyalties are right now. That is where I'm having the most fun. So I figured I'd put that into the video first. That way you guys get to see me fully excited mode. And for those of you who have stuck around, this is me kind of gritting my teeth and bearing it, because these tank hits just so slow. And if you guys have any tips for speeding up these tank hits or making them more enjoyable, would love to hear it. I know that as the guy on YouTube, most of you come to me for the suggestions, but at the same time, my comments are always filled with fantastic suggestions. So wanted to throw that out there. Do make sure you read my comments down below, because gotta say, my comment section is full of intelligent, brilliant, fantastic commenters, and that is one of the primary reasons why I keep uploading to YouTube. Speaking of games, I have been sucked into SimCity Build It lately with my kids. They absolutely love that game. If any of you are playing that game for whatever reason, I have made a Mayor's Club. I think it's just called Code Zmod, so do come join me on there. I don't recommend playing it. It's just one of those dumb games where you keep clicking things every 4 hours or whatever the heck it is. But at the same time, sort of satisfying, so figured I'd throw that out there, as my Mayor's Club is not doing super duper fantastic. Gonna keep throwing my artillery on this right-hand side engine room. We've already picked up the victory, but it's not really one that I'm proud of or going to shout from the rooftops or anything like that. My base did its job. I definitely 1000% need to redesign my base, because my base is awful. But at least we are picking up the wins. Level 3 barrage, not the answer for getting rid of engine rooms, as you can see by my just tickling that engine room to death, but it should save us from having to crawl our tanks all the way back there. Maybe. Really counting on this next artillery finishing off this base. Come on, please, for the love of everything that's holy, Of course it doesn't. And that sort of sums up my 5 engine room life. And why I'm on 5 engine rooms is I just couldn't stand 4 engine rooms anymore because they were just as awful and you had to do an extra attack to get an extra chest. So first win of the day, moving up, moving forwards, and should be able to jump up into 6 engine rooms here. Oh, that will be so incredibly nice. Look at this replay log. Just not good. Let's actually see what they did against me. Let's have a look here. What they're trying to do, a heavy rush. Heavy rush is not a thing. It has not been a thing for a long time. And as a result, they are going to get absolutely crushed by all of my boom mines, my boom cannons, and look at that. Like they didn't that was just poor effort. I appreciate the effort, but there was no way you were going to get all the way back there, my friend. I kind of enjoyed watching that, to be honest, but we're going to do one more attack, then I'm going to call it a day, simply because I'm not sure I have it in me to do one more attack at this engine room level. Hopefully I'm not being too negative. I'm definitely enjoying this season of Warships. It's something very different, not awesome for people who don't have instant training, and the seasons that don't require instant training, I find are the funnest because they're the most offensive oriented. And I, as you likely know about me by now, love the offense. I love kicking things in the face. It just makes the game fun. Now, next season has already been advertised as being called Heroes or Heroic or something along those lines. So very interested to see how that's going to behave, what that's going to mean. I'm hoping that means we're going to have heroes very early on in the season. If that is the case, that could be super awesome. Imagine getting Bullet and Brick and Everspark and Kavan. I kind of assume they'll give us 2. One quick note, my game has been crashing so darn much, it's ridiculous. After every single Operation Attack, after watching Operation Attack replays. So if you are on iOS and your game has been crashing, you are definitely not alone. Supercell has said they are working on fixes for all of these bugs. Not entirely sure why Supercell has so many bugs in every single update they release. Would love it if that wasn't the case, but sadly, that's just the way things go. Thankfully, I haven't had my game crash in the middle of an attack. It's always been after my attacks. You can see here, just moving to tanks, moving my attacks forward in good ways. I'm going to come back away from all of that stuff. I am very tempted to get smoke simply because I am so sick and tired of having to use flares or shocks. Not having smoke just grinds my gears. Smoke is so integral to Boom Beach, and it just makes Boom Beach what it is. So the fact that they hold it back on warships is brilliant, but it's also infuriating. So should hopefully be able to get rid of all of these engine rooms. We're going to have enough gunboat energy that we can get the majority of our troops in and amongst these defenses. It's going to be tight though. Not entirely sure. I'm going to get rid of this. Not going to get rid of the rocket launcher. Hoping I often get tempted to get rid of rocket launchers just because they're annoying me, but we're going to lose a couple tanks on the walk due to boom mines and things like that, but our critters should be able to keep us alive enough to get right about there. That's the shock I was after. Massive value shock, allowing our critters to get in there. Also allowing our troops to get up close and personal. And now once those critters start to die away, we can go something like that. We are in line to maybe, just maybe, get a win. Gonna start to get fairly low on GBE here as I barrage all my critters like a complete and utter dum-dum. These are the kind of mistakes that I start making that just, again, so frustrating when you start to do things like that. Your troops are doing exactly what they should be. Your critters are exactly where they should be. And then I end up barraging them or artillerying them. So going to get rid of that boom mine. And then hopefully our critters can move in on that machine gun. The fact they added blind spots to machine guns just changed the game in a massive way. So not entirely sure if that was intentional or not, but I'm going to use all artillery this time just so that I don't have to worry about destroying all of my critters this time. Critters hopefully going to distract that mortar long enough that I can get that final engine room down. not really doing a heck of a lot of damage to my tanks. Should be able to close this video out with a win by the looks of things, but my goodness, this 5 engine room, 4 engine room madness just driving me to the brink of insanity. So this person, I don't even know what they're trying to do. Like, I guess trying to get that final engine room. I've seen, and actually this one isn't bad. There was another player that had 0 chance, and they just stood there for 40 seconds with Everspark. This person, I can understand this. They might, if they can get this down, I hope they get that engine room down, to be completely honest. Come on, Servit, get that thing down. Going to be so time crunched. I don't think it's going to happen, but I can't hold that against them whatsoever. Now, if they were trying to go for this one with just Sparky, that would be a different story. Anyways, one more time, good job, Mr. Michael Gunderson. Super stoked you won that prize. Hopefully you've got some form of a shelf that you like to show those things off. Anyways, that is going to be all for me. As always, thanks for coming in. I'm Zedmont. Hit me up in the comments. Use code Zedmont in any Supercell game. I shall talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. Peace!